The information these video clips review and much more is contained in the Machine Operator's Manual. Located in the storage compartment to the right of the hydraulic controls, it should always be kept there for ready reference when periodic maintenance, safety, and operational questions arise. In addition, a safety manual will accompany the operator's manual. It's the operator's responsibility to read and understand both before operating the machine. It's important to maintain a three-point contact while climbing on or off the machine. For comfort during a long day's work, the seat has many adjustments to fit your body. The weight and height adjustment provides for a smooth ride. With the engine start switch in the on position, height is adjusted on the air ride seat with the button in front. Press the one side of the switch to raise the seat. Press the other side to lower the height. The lever to the side adjusts the seat dampening. The lower the setting, the stiffer the ride. Raising the front lever releases the seat for fore and aft adjustment for leg length. The seat back angle can be adjusted to provide additional comfort. Plus, there is lumbar support adjustment. The left armrest and on this unit, joystick steering control, can easily be lowered and raised. The joystick armrest has several spring-loaded adjustment levers to position the rest for the comfort of the operator. The operation of the joystick steering will be explained later in this section. The right armrest can also be adjusted to provide you with a comfortable, stable rest while operating the loader controls. A retractable seatbelt comfortably and securely holds you in the seat. In the event of an overturn, that's where you want to stay. For these reasons, the seatbelt should always be kept in proper working order. Be aware of its condition and replace when necessary at least every 3 years, regardless of appearance. Before operating any machine, you need to become familiar with the operating controls and instrumentation. Many of the machine's controls and indicators are located on the monitor. When the engine start switch is pressed and held a second time, the engine will start. On the monitor, you have gauges showing coolant temperature, hydraulic oil temperature, transmission temperature, engine oil pressure, and at the bottom left, fuel level. On units with final Tier 4 engines, a gauge for the diesel exhaust fluid tank level is also displayed. Also on the left, it shows vehicle speed, engine RPM, gear selection, and direction. In the upper left corner, the display shows either the hour meter, the odometer, ambient temperature, or fuel use per hour. In the center is the category and load counter. A switch to the right allows the operator to manually set different material categories and also count the number of trucks loaded. Refer to the operator's manual for details. The top right of the display shows the truck weight if the unit is equipped with the optional embedded payload scale. For details about that system, refer to the operator's manual or view the embedded payload scale section of this DVD. The digital display is used to access the machine settings mode to customize the machine, and the diagnostic mode to help troubleshoot machine malfunctions. The machine may be equipped with a rear-view camera and radar object detection system. The camera view can be accessed by pressing the top left button on the monitor. The camera can be set to display all the time or automatically when in reverse or when an object is detected behind the machine. Rear object detection alerts the operator to objects behind the machine with an audible alarm. Increasing frequency in the alarm lets the operator know that the object is getting closer to the machine. Pressing the engine start switch once turns on the ignition power and bulb checks the indicators along the bottom of the monitor. Let's freeze the picture to see what is shown. From left to right, you have the left turn signal indicator, engine heater indicator if equipped, joystick steering enabled indicator, red stoplight, yellow caution light, park brake on indicator, low brake pressure indicator, and right turn signal indicator. On later model loaders with interim Tier 4 and final Tier 4 engines, the yellow caution light has been replaced with the exhaust filter cleaning indicator. There are other indicators that may appear at the bottom of the display screen. These include ride control if equipped, lock-up torque converter if equipped, rear axle disconnect if equipped, radar object detection system if equipped, pin disconnect indicator if equipped, check engine, transmission fault, low battery voltage, and filter restriction. On later K-Series models, the icons were modified to include the tire pressure monitoring system indicator if equipped instead of the axle disconnect, and the caution indicator. The stop and caution indicators in association with the system indicator lights and gauges will alert you of potential problems. If the red stop indicator flashes and the alarm sounds, stop immediately and investigate the cause. During operation, if the yellow caution service required indicator light comes on, a problem is developing. It's not necessary to stop the engine, but the cause should be investigated as soon as possible. Floor controls include the accelerator pedal, brake pedals, and differential lock switch. The pedal to the left of the steering column allows angling of the column for operator comfort and for moving the column out of the way when exiting and entering the machine. Also in front of you are the transmission controls on most models. The F&R lever lets you easily shuttle between forward, neutral, and reverse. Rotating the lever lets you manually select first, second, third, or D. D indicates maximum gear and can be fourth or fifth gear depending on transmission options. Or in automatic, the transmission will automatically shift through the gears to the top gear set on the lever. On early K-Series models, the F&R lever can be locked into the neutral position. This feature is not found in later models. Neutral start protection is an important piece of safety equipment designed into the K-Series. If the engine is started with the lever in the forward or reverse position, it must be cycled through neutral before it will move. Caution: if the machine ever sees neutral with the key on, the machine can move once the park brake is released. The horn is located in the middle of the steering wheel. On the right side of the steering column, you have the control for the turn signals. Move the switch up to activate the left turn signal and down to activate the right turn signal. The loader control levers are conveniently located for low-effort short throw operation. This unit is equipped with 2 lever controls. Forward and backward movement of the right lever controls boom raise and lower. Forward and rearward movement of the left lever controls the bucket. On top of the bucket lever is the quick shift control. If the operator selects the down-only function on the monitor, the transmission shifts down 1 gear at a time with each push. This is helpful when the operator wants to quickly downshift, such as in this situation where the operator needs to slow from roading before coming into the pile to load. The quick shift down-up mode can be selected to shift down 1 gear, then return to the previous gear with consecutive pushes of the button. This is used for precise manual control of the transmission under changing load conditions. A single lever loader control is also available. Forward and backward movement of the lever controls boom raise and lower. Left and right movement controls bucket dump and curl. Additional hydraulic levers may be present for optional auxiliary control. The single lever has an F&R switch to control the transmission. There are 3 buttons on top of the single lever. Pushing the right button increases the transmission gear or raises the top speed in automatic. Pressing the left button decreases the gear or lowers the top speed in automatic. The front button is used for the down-only or down-up quick shifts as explained earlier. The sealed switch module, or touchpad on the right, includes controls for many features in one convenient location. Some switches may not be activated depending on how the machine is configured. There is a legend above the switch pad. The pad is also used for security. It can be configured with up to 10 different security PIN codes. To start the machine, the operator must enter a proper code using the inset numbers on the pad. The top left switch on the pad is used to turn on the ignition and start the engine. Press the switch once for ignition electrical power. Press and hold the switch for engine start. The red switch is the engine stop. This switch stops the engine, turns off all electrical circuits, and automatically sets the park brake. Next is the beacon switch if equipped. The beacon is on if the light is illuminated, and off if it's not. The four-way flashers are turned on and off with the next switch. The far right red switch is the Pilot Enable Boom Down switch. When the light is illuminated with the engine running, the loader controls are active. When the switch is pressed and released again, the light goes out, indicating that the loader controls are deactivated. The loader control should be deactivated any time you leave the operator's seat with the engine running. With the engine off, this switch allows the operator to lower the boom if it is raised. Press the ignition switch to on, then press and hold the boom down switch while activating the boom down lever. Hydraulic pressure from an accumulator is used to activate the pilot controller and move the boom to the ground. To release the park brake, simply press and release the park brake switch with the transmission in neutral and the engine running. To apply the park brake, press and hold the switch until the light illuminates. When the park brake is applied, not only is the brake set, but the transmission is automatically disengaged. On the 644K hybrid, releasing the park brake also automatically raises the engine RPM to operating speed. The accelerator pedal replaces the throttle pedal and controls machine ground speed and drive torque instead of engine RPMs. If an attempt is made to move the machine in either direction with the park brake on, the loader will not move. Since it won't move, the park brake is not damaged by trying to drive away with it on. When the park brake is released, the brake is disengaged and the transmission may now be activated. If engine power is lost while the loader is moving, the park brake will not automatically engage until the unit comes to a stop, as long as the ignition remains on. Anytime the ignition is turned off, the park brake will automatically apply. If the machine is moving at the time, it will come to an abrupt halt. The loader is equipped with a return to dig feature that returns the front attachment to a set angle. Pressing the button turns on the system. The left light indicates that the system is on for a Z-bar linkage. The parallel configured models have a second setting. Pressing the button again sets the system for an attachment such as forks. By pulling the bucket lever rearward into the detent or to the left detent with a single lever control, the bucket returns to a preset dig position. On Z-bar models, the return to dig is set manually. Refer to the operator's manual for details. On parallel models, the return to dig setting is adjusted by following the directions in the monitor. With the proper attachment illuminated, press and hold the button until you hear a beep. The monitor displays on-screen instructions. Set the bucket or forks to the desired angle and lower it to the ground. Press the button again. Raise the boom without moving the bucket or forks to maximum height. Press the button again. And again, without moving the bucket or forks control, lower the attachment to the ground. Push the Return to Dig button a final time to complete the calibration. The next button on the touchpad controls the automatic transmission mode. With the left light illuminated, it is set to 1D. In automatic 1D mode, the machine starts in second gear and shifts up to the selected top gear as speed increases. The machine shifts down as the load increases and speed decreases, including to first gear if necessary. In automatic 2D mode, the machine also starts in second gear and automatically shifts up or down as required, but not any lower than second gear. With the lights off, the transmission is in manual mode. The transmission mode is indicated in the monitor. The ride control switch, if equipped, has two modes. With the left light illuminated, it is on 100% of the time. A hydraulic accumulator is activated in the loader boom cylinder circuit to smooth out bumps for improved mobility. With two lights illuminated, ride control automatically activates whenever ground speed reaches an operator predetermined speed. The speed can be set anywhere from 2 to 15 miles per hour. Refer to the operator's manual for details about setting. Ride control automatically turns off when the loader travels below the preset speed. Note, ride control should not be used during digging or loading operations where precise control of the loader bucket is needed. Also on the touchpad is the clutch cutoff feature for the service brake pedals. With the system on, when the brake pedal is depressed, the transmission shifts to neutral before the brakes are applied. This allows the operator to maintain high engine speed for adequate hydraulic flow without fighting forward motion with the brakes. Pressing the brake down farther will apply the brakes. There are three settings. The more lights illuminated, the more pressure is needed on the brake pedal to shift the transmission to neutral. When no lights are illuminated, the system is off. The 644K Hybrid replaces the clutch cutoff feature with coast control. Coast control allows the operator to select the level of deceleration applied by the electric drive system as the accelerator pedal is let off. There are four settings. With no lights illuminated, the transmission reacts like a torque converter. To illustrate, a 644K torque converter unit begins coasting at the orange cone on the right. The 644K Hybrid with no lights illuminated begins coasting at the same cone. As you can see, it stops at the same point as the torque converter unit. Pressing the switch will illuminate the LEDs and increase the deceleration. Notice that the hybrid unit stops shorter as marked by the cones. The fastest deceleration is with three lights illuminated, so the loader has the feel of a hydrostatic system. Used properly, this will minimize the use of the service brakes during normal operation. Another control on the switch pad is boom height kickout. With this switch on, pulling the boom lever back into the detent raises the boom to a preset height. This adds to convenient operation when loading trucks or hoppers of identical height. It increases operator productivity while reducing fatigue. To set the boom height kickout, press and release the switch until the light is illuminated. Raise the boom to the desired level. Press and hold the boom height kickout switch for a few seconds until you hear a beep. The boom height kickout is now set. Next is the return to carry switch. Pressing the return to carry switch to illuminate the light will activate the feature. Pushing the boom lever forward into detent allows the boom to lower and automatically stop at a preset height. This function is intended for use only with an empty bucket to return the boom to a carry position after dumping the load from the bucket. This allows the operator to concentrate on driving rather than on boom and attachment carry positions. Setting the return to carry position is the same procedure as setting boom height kickout. First, set the bucket to the desired carry height. Press and hold the button until it beeps. Note, for the system to function properly, the return to carry must be set at a lower position than the boom height kickout setting. When the return to carry switch is disengaged, or the attachment is lower than the carry setting, pushing the lever forward into the detent places the boom in the float position. This allows the bucket to follow the contour of the ground for backdragging. The next button on the touchpad activates the automatic differential lock feature if equipped. The auto diff lock uses radar sensors to detect wheel slip. When it does, the differential lock is automatically applied on the front or front and rear axles. Whether activated or not, the operator can always step on the foot switch to engage the lock. The next switch is spin control. Spin control is used to help reduce wheel spin when crowding a pile. Many operators prefer to reduce wheel spin in loading operations. When spin control is activated, the engine reduces speed to reduce wheel spin when the hydraulic system pressure rises. The higher the spin control setting, the larger amount of speed reduction. The 644K Hybrid replaces spin control with rim pull control. Both features limit wheel spin and extend tire life. The Hybrid uses the electric drive system to limit the torque applied to the wheels without reducing engine speed. Next is the bucket pin disconnect switch for units equipped with a quick coupler. Press and hold the switch for 2 seconds to retract cylinders for the removal of attachments. The light will remain illuminated and the pin disconnect indicator will light, and the audible alarm will activate every 10 seconds. Press and release the switch to extend the cylinders to lock the attachment in place. The light will go out when the pins are extended. Be sure to check that the pins are locked in place before using the front attachment. This is the air conditioning switch. If the light is illuminated, the air conditioning is on. Note that the engine must be running and the blower fan speed switch must be on for the air conditioning to function. The machine may be equipped with heated mirrors that eliminate ice and fog in inclement weather conditions. Press the front washer switch to wash the front window. This will also activate low-speed front wiper operation. After releasing the front washer switch, the wiper blade will swipe 3 times and automatically turn off. The front wiper switch activates the front wiper control. The left light is for intermittent front wiper. 2 lights indicate low-speed front wiper. Three lights indicate high-speed front wiper. With no lights, the wiper is off. The drive light switch is to the right. The marker lights are on with one light illuminated. With two lights illuminated, the drive lights are on in addition to the marker lights. Press and release the switch to turn off the lights. The lock-up torque converter, if equipped, provides an automatic locking of the torque converter for excellent productivity and efficiency during ramp climb and transport applications. Rear axle disconnect, if equipped, disconnects the rear drive line during transport applications to minimize fuel consumption and wear and tear on the tires and powertrain. The transmission must be in neutral and the park brake applied to engage and disengage the rear axle disconnect. The 644K Hybrid does not utilize a torque converter transmission or an axle disconnect feature. So these switch positions are used for engine speed control during operation. This allows the operator to select specific engine speeds for precise loader applications. Rear washer and wiper functions are the next switches on the pad. They operate the same as the front washer and wiper. The cab work light switch is at the bottom right. With one light illuminated, the front lights are on. Another press turns on the front and rear lights. Three lights activate additional rear lights if equipped on large loaders. One more press turns off all the work lights. Farther to the right is a cup holder. Below that are the fan and temperature controls for the heater and air conditioner. Below is the on-off switch for the heated seat if equipped. A 12-volt outlet is located on the back side of the right post. To the right rear, you have access to the electrical center and fuses by removing this cover. A legend is printed on the inside of the fuse box cover. Above the operator in the headliner is the radio if equipped. To the right is the dome light. In front are two interior mirrors and an adjustable sunshade. Across the top of the front console are the defroster louvers for the windows. To the left is a place to store a fire extinguisher if equipped. To the left of the seat are a cup holder, thermos holder, and storage area. As seen earlier, many models of the K-Series can be equipped with a single lever joystick for controlling the steering and transmission. To activate, the armrest needs to be in the down position with the engine running, the unit stopped, and the park brake off. Press and hold the rocker switch until the monitor beeps. An icon on the monitor will appear to indicate that the joystick is activated. On the front of the joystick lever is a switch to control the transmission direction, forward, neutral, and reverse. Two buttons located on top of the joystick are used to shift the transmission. Pressing the left button will downshift or lower the top gear in the automatic mode. The right button upshifts or raises the top speed in automatic. The forward button honks the horn. Using the joystick to steer is intuitive. Move the lever to the right and the loader articulates to the right. Release the lever and it returns to the center position and articulation movement stops. Move the lever to the left and the loader articulates to the left. One point to remember is that turning the steering wheel overrides the joystick movement. In this demonstration, the operator is moving the joystick to the left and the steering wheel to the right. Because the steering wheel overrides the joystick, the unit turns to the right. For ventilation, the right windows can be opened individually. If cross-ventilation is desired, the left window or left door can be locked open. To maintain a solid handhold while exiting the machine, the door should be released from the lowest step from which the latch can be reached. This concludes the cab and controls portion of this video. It's recommended that you review and understand the operator's manual to become more familiar with the machine's controls and features before operating. The design of the K-Series loader reflects a lot of consideration for safety. But does this automatically ensure safety on the job site? There are many pieces of safety equipment on the loader, but there is no assurance that the safety equipment will get the job done unless you use it. One of the most important pieces of safety equipment is your seat belt. Buckle up before you start the engine. The rollover protective structure by itself does not assure your safety in the event of an overturn. If you're not wearing your seat belt, you could be thrown and crushed. Don't operate under the mistaken impression that if a machine overturns, you can hold on or jump free. That impression may be fatal. Before starting out, make a quick check of the operational controls. It's better to take a moment now than to find out at a critical moment when it's too late to avoid an accident. If you're using the loader in an area other than a quarry, be sure to call the utility services in the area to have the job site marked for underground lines or structures. In most areas, there is a free or low-cost one-call locator service. In the United States, just call 811 and you will be connected to the local locating service. It's better to take a little time before the project begins to know what you may encounter. If you cut through a gas pipeline or an electrical line, you could be losing more than a little time. It's also important to be aware of what's overhead. Serious injury or death can result from contact with electrical lines. As was mentioned, it's up to you to use your safety equipment, and it's also up to you to use good safety judgment. As the operator, you have the primary responsibility for the actions of the loader. Always think about what you have to do before you do it. Never stop thinking about what is the safe thing to do, not only for yourself, but also for the people around you. This brings up another important point. There is only one seat and seat belt in the loader, and that's for you, the operator. These machines are not designed for riders. And when working in close areas, reduce your speed. You never know what might pop out in front of you or in back of you. Even though the reverse alarm is sounding, you still need to look behind you before and while backing up. You should reduce your speed when in rough terrain or when carrying a heavy load. No matter what the terrain, always carry your bucket low for better stability and visibility. This is particularly true when working on slopes. Always drive up or down the slope with the heaviest end of the loader on the uphill side. That means with a loaded bucket, you need to drive forward up a hill. Drive up vertically and avoid turning. That's when the machine is least stable. It may overturn. With an empty bucket, back up the slope. When using the loader, keep the loading surface smooth and level. This not only makes it easier to load a truck, it also improves stability when the boom is being raised. Be especially careful to stay away from undercut embankments. This can be hazardous to machines and operators either above or below. When shutting down the machine, there are a few simple procedures that you should follow. The machine should be parked on a level surface with the attachment lowered to the ground. Move the F&R lever to neutral and set the lock. Engage the park brake. And operate the engine at half speed without load for a couple minutes. This will help cool down the turbocharger. Slow the engine to low idle before stopping the engine. On the 644K Hybrid, applying the park brake will automatically return the engine RPMs to idle. If you're shutting down for the day, it's a good idea to install vandal protection and lock up the machine. You never know who might drop by. If you plan to haul the machine, you should always use caution when loading it on or off a trailer. Statistics show that this is the most likely time for a tipping accident. You should always fasten your seatbelt before loading or unloading in case of overturn. The trailer should be parked on firm, level ground. The bed should be clean of debris. Use chalk blocks against trailer wheels to help prevent the trailer from moving. With the help of a spotter, drive onto the ramp slowly. The center line of the machine should be over the center line of the trailer. The machine should also be balanced fore and aft on the trailer. Once in position, place the F&R lever in neutral and set the parking brake. Be sure to install the articulation locking bar. On units with final Tier 4 engines, the locking bar is on the right side. Lower the front attachment. As before, lock up the machine against vandalism. Fasten the machine to the trailer with chains or cables with appropriate load binders. Tie-down points are shown in the operator's manual. Tape the exhaust to protect the turbocharger. Before you haul the machine, be sure of its overhead height to the ground. It's better to know your limitations beforehand rather than learning the hard way after you hit something. And be sure to banner and flag the oversized load. As we've seen, John Deere loaders are equipped with many safety features and systems, but it's up to you, the operator, to use them. You have to think about every move you make before you make it. It doesn't matter how much experience you have, it only takes one mistake to make the difference in your life and in the lives of others. Statistics show that of all the accidents reported, most of the operators hurt or killed were listed as experienced. Accidents don't always happen to the other guy. That other guy could be you. An easy-to-use, accurate embedded payload scale is optional on K-Series loaders. The system displays the weight of each bucket lifted, so the operator can load a truck to its maximum. The system also keeps track of the total weight of materials lifted by the loader. The operator uses the monitor display and the counter switch located next to the loader control. The payload scale system can be turned off and on by pressing the down arrow button when the monitor is in the normal display mode. Let's look closer at the monitor display. The weight shown in the upper right is the total weight loaded into the current truck. To the left is the truck counter number, and to the left of that is the material counter selector number. These counter numbers are changed using the counter switch. Pressing the Add Bucket switch will add the weight in the bucket to the total truck weight, which is displayed in the upper right of the monitor. Pressing the Plus Truck switch will increase the truck number in the monitor and reset the truck weight total to 0. This can be used to keep track of the number of trucks loaded over a period of time. Press and hold the switch to reset the truck counter to 0. Pressing the counter switch in the middle will change the counter type. Up to 5 individual counters are available to correspond to 5 different materials. This can be used in applications that require loading from multiple stockpiles or material sources. You may select any of the available counters for each truck loaded. Before using the payload scale, it must be set up. Depending on conditions, 3 empty lifts are required at startup to ensure performance and accuracy of the scale. The bucket is raised to full height from the ground. After the warm-up lifts are completed, the system will prompt the operator to perform a 0 lift. Press and hold the Add Bucket button to begin the 0 lift process. The bucket should be completely curled and the boom should be on the ground. Then raise the boom to full height and then lower it back to the ground. The monitor will tell you that the 0 is updated and then return to the main gauges screen. After the startup procedure, each time the boom is raised to a predetermined height, about where the bottom of the bucket is even with the top of the front drive lights, the monitor automatically displays the material weight in the bucket. To add that weight to the truck total, simply press the plus bucket button on the counter switch. When the truck is nearly full, and another full bucket would put the truck over weight, the tip-off function can be used to add only a partial bucket to the truck. Once the loaded bucket is weighed, press and hold the Add Bucket button until the tip-off mode is entered. Then dump the load into the truck while monitoring the truck weight total on the screen. When the desired truck total is reached, roll the bucket back and dump the remainder of the bucket back into the stockpile. This form of tip-off is called truck tip-off. Another form of tip-off is called pile tip-off. Using this method, material is dumped from the bucket back into the stockpile until the bucket contains the amount needed to load the truck to the desired weight. Refer to the operator's manual for details for using this method. The individual truck weights are referred to as a short total. A long total is a running total of all the trucks loaded since the long total was reset. The long total is typically used to accumulate the weight lifted over a longer period of time, such as a shift or when loading a series of trucks for the same job or customer. The long total can be accessed in two ways. One is by pressing the information button twice on the monitor to enter the payload scale screen. Pressing the down arrow will display the long total. The second way to display the long total is to use the menu screens and arrow buttons. The operator can reset the long total from within the monitor. The menu provides several screens to customize the payload scale output and parameters. Refer to the operator's manual for details, as well as operational factors that can affect the accuracy of the weight measurement. Daily checkpoints on K-Series loaders are located so they can be done with the loader bucket or attachment sitting firmly on the ground. This eliminates the possibility of the loader boom or attachment dropping and causing injury. Service begins on the left side of the machine. Inside the left access door on early models of the K-Series is the periodic maintenance chart. It provides a breakdown of service requirements at specified intervals for your convenience. It includes a diagram showing the service checkpoints on the machine. On later model utility-size loaders, including the 644K Hybrid, the periodic maintenance chart is located on the left side of the loader frame. On large loaders, look for the periodic maintenance chart to be near the articulation area. This information is also found in the operator's manual. The window washer fluid tank is located on the door on units with Tier 3 and interim Tier 4 engines produced before 2014. It can be checked and filled here. The window washer fluid tank fill on final Tier 4 engine units is located on the lower right side of the articulation area. Engine oil level is checked with a dipstick. The level should be between the full and add marks. When necessary, oil is added through this tube. Fill with John Deere Plus 52 oil or equivalent. The fuel filter water separator can be checked here. If necessary, water may be drained from the separator. Do so in an environmentally friendly way. You can check the hydraulic system oil level through this sight glass. The filler cap is located on top of the hydraulic reservoir behind the rear window if oil needs to be added. Fill with preferred John Deere Torque Guard 10W30 oil or recommended John Deere Plus 52 oil 10W30 or equivalent. On final Tier 4 engine units produced since 2014, the hydraulic tank level is checked with a sight gauge on the tank under the left steps. Inside the left compartment, except on the 844K, you have access to the air cleaner. Be sure to pinch the unloading valve as part of your daily pre-start inspection. The air filter can be changed by removing this cover. You can check the engine coolant level through the coolant recovery tank. Access to the recovery tank is gained through a top rear panel. If necessary, coolant can be added to the recovery tank. On the 644K hybrid machine, there is a second coolant recovery tank for the electrical drive system. Both use the same coolant and can be added here if necessary. Use a mixture of clean soft water and a permanent type low silicate ethylene glycol-based antifreeze. The lockable fuel filler is located at the left rear corner of the loader. It can be reached while standing on the ground. Be sure to fill with low-sulfur diesel fuel. On units with final Tier 4 engines, the diesel exhaust fluid or DEF tank fill is also located here. Note the blue cap. Be sure to use only approved DEF as outlined in the operator's manual. The engine power will derate if the quality of the fluid is substandard or if the level is very low. Refer to the operator's manual for details. A good practice is to fill the DEF tank at the same time as the diesel fuel tank. Under no circumstances should the diesel exhaust fluid, or DEF, be put into the fuel tank with the green cap. It is corrosive to steel and will ruin the fuel injection system if the engine is run. As you walk around the rear of the machine, check for debris buildup in the grill area. To open the swing-out radiator fan and quad-cool system, first open the right rear access door, and then the left rear access door. You can swing out the fan for access to the radiator, air-to-air charge cooler, transmission, AC condenser if equipped, hydraulic and axle coolers. Be sure this area is clear of debris before operation. Behind the rear engine access door, you can check the belt tension and condition. As shown earlier, there is a separate coolant tank on the 644K hybrid unit. Its level can be checked from this compartment. The starter is also located on this side. Bypass starting is a dangerous practice. Start the engine only from the operator station. While you're performing your daily checks, look for exposed wires or loose harness connections that may cause unexpected problems. On the 844K, unlike the other K-Series models, you have access to the air cleaner from the right side access instead of the left. Below the right rear door is a lockable storage compartment. However, this is the location of the fast fuel filler if the unit is equipped with that option. The batteries are accessed through this lockable door. When removing the batteries, disconnect the ground or negative cables first. This helps prevent damage to electrical components and lessens the potential for sparks that could ignite battery gases. The master electrical switch is located in this compartment. The 644K hybrid has an additional switch for the engine. Both switches need to be in the run position to operate the loader. On units with final Tier 4 engines, the battery box is enclosed. By rotating this cover, you have access to the master electrical switch. Also here are the positive and negative charging posts for the batteries. Be sure to look around the machine for mechanical damage, missing bolts, excessive wear, or anything that might cause a failure at a critical moment. This inspection should include the ROPS and its fasteners. Check all 4 tires for cuts or problems that may pose potential downtime. Check for loose or missing wheel hardware. Make sure the tires are properly inflated. Proper tire pressure improves the stability and the handling of the machine when lifting or carrying a load. As you walk around the front of the unit, look at the condition of the bucket and cutting edge. Also, as you inspect the machine, look for hydraulic leaks, puddles, frayed hoses, damaged tubes, missing clamps, or rubbing hoses. Any leaks must be corrected before operation. Another daily service check is the transmission oil level. The oil level is checked with a sight gauge at the left side of the transmission. Make sure there is fluid showing in the gauge before starting. However, to get a true reading, check the sight gauge after the oil has been warmed to operating temperature. See the detailed information on the decal or in the operator's manual. If additional fluid is required, the filler is located above the sight gauge on the side of the articulation area. Use John Deere Hi-Guard or equivalent. On the 644K hybrid, it is also important to look at the condition of the motor drive cables. These are easily identified by the bright orange color. Look for frayed or damaged insulation, loose brackets, or connections or debris buildup. Although not a daily requirement, the loader linkage and cylinder pivots should be lubricated every 100 hours. Refer to the periodic maintenance chart or operator's manual for the location of the lubrication points. Machines equipped with the Never Grease option require no grease on the loader linkage, significantly reducing daily operating costs. The K-Series loaders have excellent visibility. Be sure to take a moment to clean the glass so you can see where you're going and who is around you. Also, a clean operator station goes a long way in promoting safe operation. Be sure to keep things clear of the pedals. This concludes the pre-start inspection and daily service of the machine. For your convenience, a pre-start inspection checklist is printed in your operator's manual. In an effort to lower engine emissions and comply with governmental regulation standards, your K-Series four-wheel drive loader model may be equipped with an interim Tier 4 or final Tier 4 engine. Most of the advancements are designed not to be noticed. However, operators should have a general understanding how the system works and the various machine monitor displays associated with it. Loaders with interim Tier 4 or final Tier 4 engines utilize an integrated exhaust filter that captures particulate matter, PM, also known as soot or smoke. This two-part exhaust filter contains a diesel oxidation catalyst, DOC, and a diesel particulate filter, DPF. The DOC reacts with exhaust gases to reduce carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and some particulate matter. The downstream DPF forces exhaust gases to flow through porous channel walls trapping and holding the remaining PM soot. When soot builds up within the DPF to the point that it restricts the exhaust flow, it is necessary to remove the soot. Trapped particles are oxidized with increased exhaust heat through a cleaning process called regeneration. The level of filter soot buildup is shown on a bar graph in the upper left corner of the monitor. Depending upon soot level, there are 4 types of filter regeneration cleaning that may occur: passive, auto, parked, and service. Passive filter cleaning takes place during normal machine operation. It does not require any operator interaction and has no impact on machine operation. In applications where the unit runs under heavy loads, the exhaust heat is high enough to naturally clean soot buildup. However, operating with lower workloads and lower exhaust temperatures, the DPF soot level will begin to build. When the soot level reaches a moderate level, the engine control unit will begin to increase the temperature of the exhaust. An exhaust filter restriction pop-up will inform the operator to increase the engine RPM above 1200 RPM or start a part filter cleaning. When the operator raises the engine speed above 1200 RPM, the low idle setting will now be set at 1200 until automatic filter cleaning is complete. Elevated idle for automatic filter cleaning will have limited effect on machine operation. The exhaust filter cleaning indicator will light up, signifying that automatic filter cleaning is in process. During elevated idle, a pop-up will indicate automatic filter cleaning is active, and low idle has been elevated to 1200 RPM. This pop-up will display for 3 seconds or until the monitor select button is pressed. It will redisplay every 15 minutes until auto filter cleaning is complete. Automatic filter cleaning lasts approximately 25 minutes. When cleaning is complete, elevated idle will no longer be active. Note, with automatic filter cleaning enabled, automatic cleaning will occur regardless of soot level. This ensures that automatic filter cleaning is occurring on a regular basis. Automatic filter cleaning can be disabled, but is not recommended under most operating conditions. When disabled, the green Auto Cleaning Disabled indicator is displayed. Disabling may be preferred in applications where high exhaust temperatures are not desired, such as working inside an enclosure. Refer to the operator's manual for details for disabling automatic cleaning. Passive regeneration will continue until soot level becomes high. The operator needs to return the system to auto as soon as conditions permit to avoid particulate or soot buildup in the exhaust filter. If automatic cleaning is disabled and the soot level becomes high, a monitor pop-up will appear indicating that the exhaust filter is restricted. One push of the select button will enable auto filter cleaning. If automatic filter cleaning is frequently disabled or often ignored, the soot level in the DPF will increase above a high level to very high. The exhaust filter restriction level indicator will turn yellow, and a pop-up along with the caution indicator will be displayed. At this point, a diagnostic trouble code will be generated, engine power will be derated 50%, and machine performance will be reduced. The machine should be moved to a desired area, and a part filter cleaning should be initiated. Once part cleaning is selected, the monitor will guide the operator through the process. The screen will ask if a shutdown is necessary after the cleaning. This option allows the operator to park the machine in a desired spot, run the part filter cleaning, leave the machine, and do another task while the part filter cleaning runs for approximately 45 minutes. The machine will then automatically shut down. If the operator plans to continue to operate the machine after the part filter cleaning, No may be selected, and the machine will continue to idle once the part filter cleaning is complete. Part filter cleaning requires three main criteria: park brake applied, F&R in neutral, and engine speed at idle. If any of these criteria are not met, the process will not begin. Once all three are met, pressing Select will allow part filter cleaning to begin. Once ready, the process will begin and the screen will indicate progress by showing percentage of completion. Part filter cleaning will take approximately 45 minutes, and a complete screen will be shown on the monitor. During part filter cleaning, if the park brake is released, engine RPM is increased, the F&R is moved into gear, or any system fault occurs, the cleaning will be aborted. If this occurs, the operator should correct the indicated issue. The part filter cleaning process should start over. If the process will not start again, a service technician should be contacted for assistance. If the soot level reaches the service level, the exhaust filter restriction level indicator will become red, and the stop indicator will be displayed. The engine should be stopped as soon as possible. A surface filter cleaning will need to be performed. The surface filter cleaning is similar to the part filter cleaning process. However, it will last approximately 3.5 hours and may only be activated by a qualified service technician. Remember that the DPF should rarely reach very high or service soot levels. By keeping the machine in the automatic filter cleaning enabled mode, and by not ignoring recommended park filter cleanings, most of the filter cleaning processes on the engine happen behind the scenes with no or minimal impact on the operator or machine performance. With an understanding of a few additional symbols and procedures, you should operate your equipment the same way as earlier engine models. On loaders equipped with final Tier 4 emission engines, an additional process is added to reduce nitrous oxide emissions, referred to as NOx. Diesel exhaust fluid, or DEF, is injected into the exhaust after the DOC DPF filter that was just explained. A chemical reaction occurs that changes the NOx into ammonia. The ammonia is removed by passing it through a filter. On units with final Tier 4 engines, the diesel exhaust fluid, or DEF tank fill, is also located here. Note the blue cap. Be sure to use only approved DEF as outlined in the operator's manual. The engine power will derate if the quality of the fluid is substandard, or if the level is very low. Refer to the operator's manual for details. A good practice is to fill the DEF tank at the same time as the diesel fuel tank. Under no circumstances should the diesel exhaust fluid, or DEF, be put into the fuel tank with the green cap. It is corrosive to steel and will ruin the fuel injection system if the engine is run. The DEF tank level gauge is located in the monitor. In addition to the operator's manual, each machine comes with an interim Tier 4 or final Tier 4 quick reference guide. Printable files of these guides are located in the digital folders on this disk. It can be accessed with a computer.